Hello, this is Mrs. Ross and this is Lesson 73 Starred Problems. The practice set is on a different video, so let's go ahead and skip through the practice set, which we did on a previous video, and we'll start with our starred problems. So, number 1 says, use a ratio box to solve this problem. If Elena can wrap 12 packages in 5 minutes, how many packages can she wrap in 1 hour? Now keep in mind that we're going to have to make these two measures of time equal. This is a case 1, case 2 ratio box. So let me go ahead and draw my ratio box. So we have a case 1, case 2, and I have packages and minutes. So I have 12 packages in 5 minutes. I want to know how many packages she can do in 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. Okay. So I have my ratio box. I need to write my proportion and then cross multiply. 12 over 5 is equal to x over 60. I'm going to cross multiply. I get 12 times 60 is equal to 5 times x. 12 times 60 is 720. Let me divide by 5. That goes away, x comes down, my equals comes down. Let me get my handy dandy calculator. 720 divided by 5 is 140. I lost my cursor. 144. So that is my answer to number 1 starred problem. Let me go ahead and get another color. This says Lydia walked 30 minutes a day for 5 days. The next 3 days, she walked an average of 46 minutes a day. What was the average amount of time that she spent walking per day during those 8 days? So I'm going to start with the formula for average, which is the sum over how many. Okay, I know my 8 is going to be my how many, and my sum is actually going to be she walked 30 minutes for 5 days, so I'm going to multiply that, plus she walked 46 minutes for 3 days. That's a 6. And all over that is the 8 days. So let's see, 5 times 30 is 150, plus 46 times 3, which I'm going to do on my calculator, 138. Over 8. So let's see, 138 plus 150 gives me 288 divided by 8, which is, hold up, calculator issues, divided by 8 gives me 36. So she averaged 36 minutes per day. All right, write each number in scientific notation. Right now they're not in scientific notation, so I have to move the imaginary decimal point from here to here. So that's 2.4 times 10 to the 1 times 10 to the negative 5. I'm going to add these two exponents. That makes this 2.4 times 10 to the negative 4. And then here, same thing, I'm going to move this here, so that's 2.4 times 10 to the 1 times 10 to the 7. I'm going to add these two exponents times 10 to the 8. Let me change colors here. There we go. Draw a diagram of this statement. The 30 red-tailed hawks counted during the fall migration amounted to 1/4 of the hawks counted. All right, so this tells me that I need 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it says that there were 30 is 1/4. So we know that there's 30, 30, 30. So how many total hawks were counted? That's going to be 4 times 30, which is 120. And how many of the hawks were not red-tailed? So that's going to be this many, or 3/4. So 3 times 30, which is 90. Okay. All right, so this is from today's lesson, or lesson 73. And we know that the rules for divide and multiply are if they are the same sign, our answer is positive. If they are different signs, our answer is negative. So here we have different signs. A negative 36 divided by a positive 9, that's going to be a negative 4. Here I have a negative divided by a negative, which is going to give me a positive. 3.6 divided by 6 gives me positive 0.6. Here I have a 0.9 times 3, and that's a positive 0.9 times a negative 3, so I get a negative 2.7. Here I have a positive times a positive, which is a positive 56. Number 12 says, describe how to determine whether the product of two signed numbers is positive or negative. Well, we use the rules. If it's the same sign, it's positive. It's different, it's negative. 13, find the number of 1-foot cubes that will fit. So we want to know volume. Volume is length times width times height. So that's 8 times 3 times 4, which is going to be 96 feet cubed. Oh boy. Use the terms acute, right, or obtuse. So this has to do with the angles. And equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. So this has to do with the sides. To classify each problem. Then find the area. Okay, so I know because of this is a right triangle. And all of the sides are different, so this is a scalene. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height, or base times height over 2. I know that base and height have to make this 90-degree angle, so I'm going to say this is my height and this is my base. That's 8 times 6 over 2, which is 48 over 2, which is 24 as my area. Centimeters squared, looks like. Let me change colors here. Let's see. All right, so this is an obtuse angle. It's greater than 90, so this is an obtuse triangle. It looks as though none of the sides are the same. So again, a scalene. And then area is equal to, again, base times height over 2. We know that the height has to make this 90-degree angle, so this is height, and this is base. So we have 4 times 5 divided by 2, which is 20 divided by 2, which is 10 centimeters squared. And last triangle here. It looks like all of these are acute. And I have two sides that are the same, so that's isosceles. So area is going to be base times height over 2. We have to make sure that our height makes that 90-degree angle. So my height is 4 and my base is 6. 2, which is 24 over 2, which is 12 centimeters squared. Okay. All right, so this says to solve and check. You know how I feel about that. We're going to solve each one. Again, you might want to put one of these in your spiral so you remember how to do it. But whenever you have a fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Let me erase just a little bit. Yeah, that works fine. So the reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3. What I do to one side of the equals, I have to do to the other. So let's make this 15 over 1. We're going to multiply. All of this cancels. It ends up being 15 over 15, which is just 1. So my W comes down. My equals comes down. I have 15 times 5 over 1 times 3. 15 times 5 is 75 divided by 3, which is 25. So this would be 22, number 22. Let me change colors here. 23, The first thing I'm going to do on 23 is take care of this exponent. So this is b minus 1.6. You'll see I did nothing. And this is 0.4 times 0.4. So if I put that in my calculator, I get 0.16. Now I can add this to both sides. We should really line those up, but either way, we're going to use a calculator anyway. So equals, so I have, I think it's 1.76. It's going to be my answer there. And then, let's use the blue. 24, we're going to divide by 20, both sides. 20 over 20 is 1. My W comes down, my equals comes down. 5.6 divided by 20, and I get 0.28 for my answer there. All right, so we have addition and subtraction here. We'll just take them two at a time. So I have a -8 plus a -7. The rules are if it's the same sign, add and keep the sign. So 8 plus 7 is 15. They're both negative. We'll bring this down. Now I have a subtraction problem, so I'm going to keep, change, change. So since these are opposite signs, I'm going to subtract and keep the sign, and that's actually 0. Let me change colors. Okay, so -15 plus a +11. The signs are opposite, so I'm going to subtract. 15 minus 11 is 4. 15 is larger, so this is -4 minus, and this is the absolute value of 24, which is 24. So now I have a subtraction problem. I'm going to have to keep, change, change, and now I have two negatives. So I'm going to add those and keep the sign per my addition rules. And then the last one on this page, -1/3 minus a -2/3. It's a subtraction problem, so I'm going to keep, change, change. So now I have -1/3 plus a +2/3. 2/3 minus 1/3 gives me 1/3, and it's positive because 2/3 is larger. And I think that might be the last one. It is. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day.